Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, Fabulites. This is Angela, and I have got questions for you. What opens with the girls getting a wake-up call, wake-up visit at 5 a.m. in the morning? And what closes with Miss Yolanda finalizing the plans for a shake-up, wake-up call for the girls and the couples? If you guessed Making a Model, Lifetime Season 1, Episode 3, you're correct. Thank you so much for clicking on my review and recap and sticking around to see how we get from opening to closing. I'm Angela. The channel is Be Fabulous You. So while I was waiting for this is my second time making this video this morning. So I'm back off my tablet, which I thought we had gotten straight, and now we back to of 32 gigs. I got 31 gigs, megs, whatever. Out of 32, I got 31. And last week or earlier this week, it was like down to 16. I don't understand. I don't understand. When I was waiting for Making a Model, the show to come on, because I think it come on like 2 minutes after the hour. I think it's one of them channels where they had these weird, times. I was going through the list of the girls. I went to look for, I was trying to see if these episodes have names, because I haven't found any names. And usually I Google, and a lot of TV shows that I review have a Wikipedia page, and it will have the name of the show, the date it aired, the season, the episode number, like right there. I don't even really have to click on Wikipedia, but it's like on the display part of the Wikipedia page when I Google. So I haven't found that for this. So I went to Lifetime's little, I went to their site, their page for Making a Model. And I'm going through the girls because, I'm like, well, let me just try to get oriented to who's who so that I could be a little bit, sharper. So Brianna, 13, and Jessica from LA. I'm like, oh, okay, they're from LA. Lillian, 15, and Kat from Oklahoma. I'm like, oh, the blonde and the blonde are from Oklahoma, which I didn't know until I lived in Mississippi. I always think of Oklahoma as out west, but when I lived in Mississippi, and some of the young women that I knew through their parents who were competitive athletes would go to Oklahoma to compete regionally. I'm like, Oklahoma ain't in the region. They like, yes, it is, girl. It's right there. I'm like, oh. So it made me think of Oklahoma being more southern, maybe more redneck. It just kind of fit with the impression that I had started to get of Lillian and Kat, like blonde and blonde. Almost like there's this undercurrent with them that I couldn't really I've been trying to figure out. Carrington, 16, and Lisa, LA. I'm like, who is Carrington? I don't know. Lifetime, did y'all have somebody cast and then you just, didn't clean up your page when that didn't work out? What's going on, Lifetime? We had Michaela, 16, and Karen from Chicago. Oh, they're from Chicago. Karen is the mama of the brown girl who is brown too. So, black girl, brown, whatever. One of the... And then there was Mackenzie, 14, and Teresa from Indiana. I'm kind of like, okay. And then Athena, 13, and Diana from Oregon. I'm like, Oregon? I don't really have any impression of Oregon. Just this game I used to play called the Oregon Trail. But that doesn't, give me any stereotypical impression of Oregonian. So I was just like, oh, okay. But Athena is the one who has, 6 or 7, she comes from a big family. Lots of siblings. So anyway, so we start the show with Allie. She's doing a wake-up visit. It's 5 a.m. She like, y'all got 30 minutes to get in this leotard. I'm like, who takes 30 minutes to get into a leotard? But she meant get it together, because the girls are curling eyelashes and, doing other things that we didn't know about. A car brings them to the circus. They're really, really excited. Hold on a second. Yolanda is like, okay, so you're going to be out of your element here. This is really an opportunity for you to practice and, having a practice run with how to interact with an art director and a photographer, and to sell an item while you're not uncomfortable. There's a bag they're selling. I don't remember what brand. And the mom's job today is to step back. Just step back, y'all. So Michaela goes first. I don't have any notes from her. Then Brianna goes next. She's on the ladder. That's all I have. Mackenzie and her social anxiety and insecurities go next. She's on a rope. She starts crying because it hurts. And Yolanda says that's part of the job. Sometimes it hurts. She doesn't necessarily seem mean or dry, but she's like only empathetic to a point. She like, girl, you got to get the job done. You say you want to be a model, well, this, you want to be with pain, you want to be a dancer, well, dance hurts and dance costs, and right here is where you start paying. Y'all remember Fame with Debbie Allen, the TV show, not the movie. I used to know that little, you want fame, well, fame costs, and right here is where you start paying in sweat and pain. I think that's how it goes. But anyway, so, you know, that's kind of, you know, Yolanda's position with Mackenzie. Get it together, mama. It's going to hurt, but work through the pain. We shouldn't see you hurt. Don't let us see you in pain. Then we see Lillian on the silk, and Yolanda is like, you know, something about her hair, and then she goes to fix her hair, and she's like, oh, it's tangled. And Lillian is basically like in her interview, well, I mean, we didn't have time. I didn't have time. I watched it last night. I didn't have time, you know, blah, 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 blah. And then Lillian feels that it's hard to concentrate because of all of this attention that Yolanda has put on her hair. Now, I don't know if she said it then or what, but I think that she said it's bleached blonde and it's dry, like it's over processed. That's what Yolanda was trying to say. Yolanda. And then we see Athena, and Lillian is whispering something about Athena's, I couldn't read it. Could you read it? Did you? But I think she was saying something about her hair not being straight. And the impression that I've gotten about Lillian is she seems kind of like mean and snarky. So I figured it was something mean and snarky, and something about the fact that this child's hair, even though it's not over processed, is not straight. But see, there, you know, that's a whole different conversation, Miss Lillian. But if you know what she said, let me know what she said. Then Yolanda does, at the end of the photo shoot, she compliments both Mackenzie and Lillian for pushing through pain and discomfort. So I thought that was nice. Give them some little props, some big ups. Then she has a debriefing, Miss Yolanda, with Stefan and Allie. And Yolanda is criticizing the dry, brittle hair of Lillian. And she's like, it's colored. And we already know that she's not a big fan of little girls doing grown women things. So I was kind of surprised that it was colored too. But then when I was thinking about it, I'm like, okay, well, 15, you know, some of these 15-year-olds have colored hair. But I was kind of like, wow, she, you know, bleach blonde. To me, I think that's something that like grown women do, you know. So I was kind of like, oh, but you know, I don't know. And then they go on and they talk about Mackenzie, and you know, they say Mackenzie always has an excuse. And then they also talk about the fact that they had wanted to bring another girl in to stir the pot. So that's this young woman, Carrington 16, who we have. I'm like, so it was. I was like, okay. So then we see Allie. She's back at the model house, and she's like, you know, are you guys ready? Ask Allie. And then one girl is like, so we have no clue where we're going. And then they wind up at the beach. I don't know what beach they're at, but maybe but anyway, they're at the beach. They're going to do 2 shots. One is a full body shot, and then one is a beauty shot, and they have a full makeup artist. So it's like their photo shoots are getting more advanced, more professional. The winner is going to get $5,000, which they've gotten the last 2 times. I think that's their standard for winning a competition. Athena goes first, and her mom says that she is not comfortable with her daughter running around on the beach in the swimsuit. And I didn't really understand why, because, I mean, maybe she's never been to a beach, or maybe their beaches are different, but I've been to beaches all over the world, and you see children in swimsuits or shorts and t-shirts or whatever, but I mean, it's at a beach. It's not like she's like in lacy lingerie, and you know, I was just kind of like, I didn't really understand it. Plus hers was a 2-piece, and I actually think sometimes it's really cute to see little girls who don't have much body in 2 pieces, because they ain't got no body. It's like, it ain't really no booty to hang out, it ain't really no breastises to be hanging out, you know. When you see a grown woman in a 2-piece, if she is shaped a certain way, it's like much more risque than seeing a little one in a 2-piece. But this child has on a 1-piece. So I was kind of like, that was interesting to me. We see Brianna. I think she gets the direction to be sporty, not sexy. Brianna is a 13-year-old who kind of has that Asian-y undercurrent feel to me. Then we see Mackenzie in a red two-piece. Red two-piece sounds racy, but still, I thought it was appropriate for, you know, a young girl. Mackenzie is 16. I didn't, you know. And Yolanda is like, you know, something happens and she's like, keep going, don't make an excuse, because she started to notice that Mackenzie has a pattern of making excuses. The photographer is like, this is not going to work. Then they go to commercial break, and then when they come back, I guess they have a breakthrough, and then Yolanda and the photographer are basically talking, and they're like, you know, she will shine if she can push through because she's got it all. Aw, that's sweet. She see the potential in the babies. And then we see Lillian. We find out that Lillian is wearing green contacts, and Yolanda has her take them out. And I'm like, what is this child doing wearing green contacts? And later on, her mother is like, I knew when we were getting ready and she put on those contacts. I told her not to put on those contacts. I'm like, she putting on blonde hair and green eye? Like, what in the world? You know, Yolanda is like, you know, girl, you gotta be who you are. You are not blonde and blue-eyed. You are not blonde and green-eyed. Your father is native. You need to be you. I want you to find some models and some women to look at who have brown hair and brown eyes. Look to them for your inspiration. Be your best self. Be fabulous, you mama. That's what she tried to tell the girl. Then we see Michaela. She has her afro, looks super cute in that shot. Then we have a group shot with the girls are wearing just denim tops, and they're, you know, one shot they're running and he captures them. Then there's one shot where they're all together and their shoulder is exposed. And I thought that that was a little grown, because I feel like, in what context is your shoulder exposed except that you're like, I'm going to give you a little shoulder and take a little back and give you a little, you know, like, I'm like, what little girl is out here? You know, I thought it was, I mean, they wasn't showing much skin, but I just thought the action, I didn't care for it. And one of the mothers, Athena's mother, does not care for it, and I understood that. I think it was like gratuitous, like sexiness, like, you know, I know. Anyway, so then we have Lillian and her mom trying to get Lillian to embrace her brown-eyed goodness, like her mother has given her a poem or something. And again, this kind of surprised me, because somehow in my head I had decided that Lillian's mother was like the head person, was the leader in this. And as the show unfolded, I saw how the mother wants to support her daughter and love her daughter, but her daughter has some deep-seated issues, and her mother is trying to get her to love herself, but it's like some struggling going on. You know, the girl is on the struggle bus to self-love, which I can relate to. I mean, I think, you know, it's probably more of a universal issue than I realized, because I know a lot of black and brown girls really struggle with that. So I was kind of like, okay. And the little girl, Lillian, is like, I want blue eyes. I don't want to have brown eyes. And her mother is giving her a poem about, you know, brown eyes and all of that. So I was kind of like, okay. Then we see back in the office, Yolanda is upset that she hears that Athena's mom told Allie that she was uncomfortable with the showing of the shoulders. And Yolanda is kind of offended, because I think Yolanda prides herself in being really sensitive to what's appropriate for children and what's not appropriate for children. And I think that, you know, from my observation, I would agree. I think she is really sensitive and conscious of those things. But we can all have blind spots, or, you know, I don't think it's anything to get offended about. I think it's like, you know, I think it's good to have that conversation, and different people's lines are different and people's interpretations are different. So we see the group in Yolanda's office, and Yolanda checks Athena's mom, you know, and Athena's mom is like, you know, I felt like I was removed from what was going on, and I felt like it was too grown for my daughter. And Yolanda's like, well, you brought your daughter here to New York City. You might want to take her home and try again when she's 17 years old, which is true. I mean, I feel like that's a valid thing, but I also kind of felt like it was almost like a threat. Like, either you go along with the program, whether you're comfortable with it or not, or else take your child out of here and they won't have the opportunity. And I think that that's a lot of times what can happen to women, to young people, to black folks. You are in situations where you feel uncomfortable, or the mother advocating for the child, and you don't want the child to lose the opportunity. I didn't really like how, you know, I think that the mother probably knew that already, that she could take, that she brought her child there and that she could take her child home. So I felt like saying that it was like a threat that I didn't particularly care for. And I felt like as much as I have really enjoyed and appreciated and really come to admire Miss Yolanda from watching this TV show, at least the way it's edited, I'm like Team Yolanda. But on this, I felt like she got a little overly sensitive and missed the mark. She said that I understand Diana's concern. Diana is Athena's mom, but I grew up in the industry and I raised 2 girls in the industry. So do not question me, I guess is what she's saying. Then they go and they're evaluating the girls. Oh, look at this. The back is open. Okay, so they're evaluating the girls. This is basically theoretically like the end of the show. So Mackenzie, they say her beauty shot was really good. Brianna, they say her beauty shot was good and her full body shot was good. Athena, they're like her full body shot was good, her beauty shot was great, she's really coachable. Michaela, they say it was clean, confident, fresh face, her body and the whole shot. And the child, Yolanda advises Michaela to do exercises to make her body long and lean. See, they shot that girl from behind, and you know, I don't think she has a big booty or anything like that. But I understood in a way that, you know, probably what the industry is looking at is slightly different from the way that many black and brown people are built. So like doing things like yoga and Pilates gives those long, ballet gives, you know, like shapes, gives the feeling and the shaping and the lengthening, you know. So anyway, but I thought that was kind of interesting because when she said it, I'm like, well, why y'all do a booty shot? But anyway, and then Lillian, she's like, you know, her body shot was okay. You know, the hair was in the way and the beauty shot was better. And then when she goes, you know, well, this is where people are. At the bottom, we have Lillian, and then Lillian, she starts crying. And Yolanda's like, well, what's going on? And Lillian is like, well, I'm at the bottom again. And, you know, and then I'm kind of like, I wonder if Kat is naturally blonde. Her mother, or is her mother dyeing her hair? Because, you know, a lot of times as girls, we are an extension of our mothers. So like if our mother has an issue with with her body, then you see these little 8-year-old girls who will have issues with their bodies. It's like they take what their parents give them and take it to the next level. And then also I feel like I don't know when they, oh yeah, we're gonna go over that. So, you know, we have that part. Then in the middle, we have Brianna and Mackenzie. And then at the top, 2 brown girls again, Athena and Michaela. So it's like 3 weeks in a row, we're going to have 3 brown girls on top. I'm just like, oh my gosh. It's just really, it's kind of like, I guess whenever I see these kind of shows, I feel a kind of tension. And this is kind of like making me like relax. Like, okay, they're not going to dog the brown girls out, you know. And the winner is between Athena and Michaela. Athena! Woo! And Yolanda says, thank you for showing your authentic and beautiful self. And normally the show would be over, but the show keeps going. So we see, Athena's mom is now glad that Athena won, but is concerned that she didn't get her point across to Yolanda. And I felt like that there was, yeah. And then we see that Lillian is upset. And Brianna is like, well, everyone is going to be on the bottom. And then Lillian is like, you weren't on the bottom. And then Lillian's mom is like, young lady, let's go for a walk. And Lillian is like, no. And Lillian's mom is like, I am not here for your negativity. You got to learn. This is a learning opportunity. And then Lillian is like, I came here to win and I'm not winning. What am I supposed to do? And then Lillian's mom is like, we are warriors. That's our heritage. Her mama is Native American too, or identifies as Native American too. It's a bigger picture. Show who you are. We're warriors, right? And her mother is like, you know, and I'm like, go mama, go tell that child. And, you know, yeah, it's yeah. And then back at Yolanda's office, the photographer is like, hey, you know, I have found someone for you. I know you were looking for someone else. She's 16 years old. She's 5'7", and she's from California. Her name is Carrington. So yes, that's the Carrington. I don't know how tall these other girls are, because a couple of the times when she was doing the evaluation, she told the girl, well, you're only 13, you're still a shrimp. Well, you know, you're still a little shrimpy or whatever. So that was Making a Model. I enjoyed. I'm really enjoying this show. I'm really enjoying this show. I'm really enjoying getting to know Yolanda Hadid in another way. I saw her briefly on her reality show, but you know, on Bravo's Real Housewives or whatever. I didn't have a strong opinion of her, but I really really like her in this context and in this setting, and I like her in this role. I like the fact that she has been a model. I don't know if she was a top model, a supermodel, I don't know, you know, but I know that her daughters have done well in the modeling industry, so she has a certain credibility, and I like how she's caring for the girls, how she's working with the girls. So that's what I got. Thank you again for being a subscriber if you're a subscriber, and welcome back if this is not your first time here. Welcome if it's your first time here, and if you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing. As a matter of fact, just go on and subscribe. Go on and like. Y'all came, y'all stayed for the end of the video. You enjoyed something from it, you got something from it, even if it's annoying. So just pay me in likes. Pay me in comments, pay me in subscriptions, because that's how, you know, especially as a small YouTuber, I was in the monetization program, which I never really figured out, but at the end of February, if I don't have 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be bumped out of the program. I'm based on my rate of growth, I'm not sure if 1,000 subscribers in, you know, less than a month is realistic for me, but I need to continue to grow and develop. So that's what I got. Thank you so much for being here, for sharing, commenting, liking, subscribing, being you, being fabulous, and being fabulous you. Today is the best day ever, and you are the greatest. So be you, be fabulous you. You see the video vixen, she's showing her tail. Not her tail, her booty. I don't know what she's showing. And enjoy your day. Bye. Peace.